Namaskar. Welcome to this beautiful session where we would be actually talking about how to empower our mind to defeat emptiness and depression. Friends, in today's world, almost each one of us are suffering in one form or the other. Somebody is suffering through heartbreak, somebody is suffering major losses in business, somebody through disease, and somebody have lost their loved ones. Each of these states stimulate immense grief within us, and then we go into a state of either depression or loneliness or loneliness. So what do we do to empower ourselves to come out of this state, especially during these times? The whole session is based on these talks. We are seeing whether it is poor people or rich people, everybody is suffering in one form or the other. We are listening daily almost, some businessmen, some actors, some actresses, who have achieved name, fame, money, everything, yet they are committing suicide. Why would somebody do that? Charak Samhita, an ancient scripture, is actually saying that depression or feeling low, that could be one of the fundamental causes of physical disease. इसे हम हल्के में नहीं रह सकते. We cannot take this lightly. Almost in all kinds of diseases does depression or feeling low manifest, from failure of chief organs like heart, liver, kidney, to migraine or thyroid issues or weight gain or weight loss through varicose veins or pain in various body parts, to even lifestyle diseases. Depression could be the chief cause. Sometimes even cancer could be caused through a long-term chronic depression. Hence, it is imperative for us to understand this in the initial phases and take charge. Arjun was in a state of dilemma in Gita's chapter 1, which is actually Vishad Yoga, where Arjun goes through a very low feeling or state of depression. He's confused, he's deluged, he's completely deluded that how can I kill my own guru, my own loved ones, my own relatives, family. And in this state of loneliness, Krishna gives him and us the key of how we can come out of depression. We will now learn how to empower ourselves through the wisdom of Gita and Sanved, so that we can use the power of mind, intellect, and the forces within to defeat this state of loneliness or depression and to be a winner in life. Asiddhi bhayat vivideshu karyasu saddo apravrittihi. Apprehension of failure, loss, results in incapability of mind to function properly. Apprehension is directly not mithya. Mithya means illusion, delusion. Apprehension is a direct function of mithya. So we need to understand what this mithya is. In life, we often take karmas and actions through blindfoldedness. Any action that we take through our intellect, through our creativity and wisdom, those are known as pure actions. However, there are actions which we take through the filter of delusion, through illusion, and they are called as impure actions. Naturally, impure actions, because the input was not right, the output will be wrong, isn't it? For example, there is a king. or a prime minister. Okay, there is a prime minister. His intelligence agency gives him a wrong information that the neighboring country is going to wage a war against his country. Now, based on that incorrect information of his agency, he takes a wrong action out of fear and he attacks the other country. Okay, it was a wrong information, it was not a correct information given by the agent or the agency. So the whole action which was based on a wrong information becomes an act of delusion out of the illusion mithya. It will almost always be an impure action, dangerous action. So it is very important for us to understand what this mithya or illusion is, because the illusion is the force which takes us down. Dhritarashtra or mithya, it pulls us down into the dark forces, and from these dark forces or dark energy, the feeling of sadness, the feeling of grief, they propagate. So consider life. Whenever you are feeling very euphoric, very happy, happiness, joyful, success, powerful, empowered, okay, satisfied, we feel disempowered, we feel low, depressed, sad, angry, resentful, negative vibes and negative energy forms and negative vibrations. So we usually in life we perform like a radio wave, and like we tune to a radio depending on which our favorite radio station is. Similarly in life we usually tune to higher energies or lower energies, the energies of happiness and the energies of sadness, and based on what we have attuned to, we start pulling more of that energy, that happiness or sadness. Happiness and sadness are the two level graph of our life. It is important for us to know what is this happiness and sadness, and what is sadness and happiness dependent upon. Usually we think that when we achieve a certain target or we acquire certain wealth or certain material form, then we will be happy. Or if we achieve someone or someone's attention or someone's love, then we feel that we will be happy in life. And we are in grief when that attention or that love is gone, or we go through a breakup, or we feel a loss of that loved one. But in reality, is happiness and sadness direct function of a person or material wealth? We mostly think so, right? We feel that if we are, certain amount, maybe some $1 million or some million rupees, when we acquire, we'll be happy. This is what most of us think, because we compare it with others. But if money or material wealth could have that power, then why are rich businessmen, why are actors and actresses who have immense wealth, immense fame, committing suicide? They have everything what a common layman are aspiring for, right? Yet they are committing suicide. So then what is it that is not that they have achieved, right? Because they have now actually gone through some kind of pain in spite of achieving all that wealth and fame. There must be something which is remaining, isn't it? It is very clear that happiness and sadness is not dependent on a particular person or the number or dependent of wealth. Because if it was so, then why would rich people also feel unhappy, sad? They are also going through a lot of sadness of a different nature or of their own kind, but they do feel sad. So then there is some form of illusion which we have, that if we will achieve certain person or certain money or certain wealth or certain material things, we will feel happy, है ना? We first had that box form, the mobile phone. So 20 years back or 25 years back, when the mobile phones were launched, it was every person's dream. Everybody wanted, because it was considered to be such a high status symbol to have a mobile phone. After few years, almost everybody, at least the middle class, gathered access to mobile phones. But by that time, the better slender phones were launched. So now everybody aspired to have that smaller or the slender phones. Now they didn't wanted those bigger phones. So by the time one got hands to the slender phone, one was now very happy that wow, I have. But within a year or so, the smartphones were launched. Now everybody wanted those intelligent or smartphones. One fine day the iPhone was launched, and now achieving that iPhone will give me happiness, right? So now I wanted iPhone. So somehow I bought this expensive iPhone. I was very, very happy. So for few days, few months, I was very happy showcasing this iPhone. And then the iPhone 2 was launched. iPhone 3 was launched, and so on and so on. So each time another phone was launched, I was unhappy now. Why? By the time we have an ambition or a wish that we have an X amount of money, we will be happy. So once we achieve that X amount, now we want a few more millions of rupees. By the time we achieve that millions of rupees, we are not satisfied, we are not happy, because now we want some hundreds of millions and hundreds of crores of rupees. And this is going on and going on. Someday we are dying to get attention of a loved one whom you are infatuated to. So somehow you manage to propose her, convince her, enroll her or him, and you get married, and you are so happy. But it is very short-lived, because then either your neighbor's wife or neighbor's husband, he or she is far more handsome and beautiful or successful or rich than your wife or husband, and there's this vicious cycle going on and on. We are never satisfied with what we have. This is the root cause. Look at the number of divorces and separation that is happening these days, because we are not satisfied with this, we want this. Once we achieve another one, the another one is our BF or GF. After few days we go on to the same rut, we want another one. We are not happy. What we are doing with the material wealth or the material phone, we are repeating that with our relationship also, isn't it? So this is happening because we are living in illusion, and this is where the main problem is. If we will understand the key of this, then we will capture what and where we are deluded. Then we can actually correct our path to life. You have actually forgotten why you have come here on this earth. You came here for a bigger purpose, a higher purpose. And how will other people or other energies or some form or somehow give you that happiness which is inside of you? You forgot that totally in this illusion. You actually did. That is where the whole pain is coming from. We are so deluded, so disillusioned. You are becoming a participant to this level of happiness and unhappiness game with others. However, when you have known the real self within your own self, that is the time when you have empowered yourself. You will play those games. However, you have taken away the power from the others or the other things. You have taken that power from the outside and you have taken that power within yourself. Now the others will not be able to make you happy or depressed or unhappy. To achieve this state, we have to do certain sadhanas or certain steps, which includes meditation, yoga, some practical principles which we will learn slowly. Don't worry, today also I will give you some concepts. However, that detailed principles and everything we will encompass and learn in the chapters of Sunved and life transformation seminars. A very interesting story I want to share with you is I had this one client. One fine day I just visited them for some important work of interiors which they wanted to do. Now he's a very rich businessman and he had gifted his wife approximately 35-40 lakhs or 25-35 lakhs very expensive diamond necklace. Now this necklace the wife had actually lost somewhere about 3 years back, okay, in a marriage ceremony which she had gone. But suddenly today she was trying to search because she had to attend another ceremony and she was searching this, and while searching from morning till evening, she was searching and she's becoming tensed and more tensed as and when time is passing, and suddenly she realized that, oh, the last time I wore this and I think I left this in that particular hall somewhere and I've forgotten this. She suddenly realized 3 years back, okay, she had lost this necklace. In these 3 years, she wasn't unhappy because of this necklace. Had this necklace been of that power that gives her happiness, then the moment she lost 3 years back, automatically she should have been unhappy and very sad, right? No. Today when she recalls that she has lost that necklace, she is very unhappy now. Please pay attention and try to understand. If the necklace had the power to give her happiness or unhappiness, she should have been unhappy then only. But no, she is unhappy now that in her mind she perceived that she has lost. Isn't this true with even human beings? The day when we lose our loved ones, when they pass to the heavens, or when somebody will break up with you and go away, or separate with you for some reason or the other, when our loved ones they go away to another country or a place, suddenly we suddenly start giving them more value, right? Again the same mithya is working, because now our focus is onto the beautiful memories. Till the time our loved ones were with us or alive with us, we were taking them granted. Now we connect our focus that our loved ones who have gone far away from us, now we replay inside of our mind illusion that we would have done this or we would have done that had they been with us. But when they were with us or when they are actually with us, we take them for granted and we are into our phones, on WhatsApp, on social media, or we are busy working for our dreams or so-called illusionary dream life, busy chasing that life and losing on our moments who are presently alive, throbbing with us. No, we are not present with them, right? Experience the complete moment. The first thing what you can do is go into the 100% experience of of the present moment, of whom you are with or what you are experiencing. If you are eating, if you are writing, if you are playing, if you are breathing, if you are listening to a music, if you are watching, if you are being creative, or if you are working, go 100% into it. When you are 100% into the flow of it, the monkey mind, which is actually telling the stories, will shut off. You need to shut off that monkey mind, because that is where your depression is coming from. You are not depressed by yourself. That mind is playing the cassette of sadness and loss of loved one or loss of material wealth. That has happened in past, gone. You are here, throbbing in this present moment. Live that moment. That is meditation. The first step of meditation. Live that. Experience that. Right? A very, very beautiful story of ancient times. A very dear story of my heart. There was an old man. He had a very enchanting, very, very beautiful, graceful horse. Whenever he used to walk gracefully, the way he used to move around, his beautiful skin, eyes, he had flying hairs, Arabic horse, white color, blazing. His vibes were like enchanting angel. Anyone who would see this horse will fall in love in the first sight. One day, the king of that village, he was passing by through that village, and he saw this horse, and right in the first sight he fell in love with this horse, and he wanted this horse at any cost. So he went to this old man and asked him for the price. Name the price, I want this horse. And the old man said, no, I'm not giving you this horse. The king tried to persuade him, convince him, enroll him. The king said, I will give you a very, very big mansion or a palace. You name what you want. I will give you servants, hundreds of them. I will give you bags and bags filled with gold. I will give you loads and loads of money, necklace, pearls. You name it what you want, but I want this horse. Because his ego was also hurt, right? No matter what the king is offering, the old man is saying, no, thanks. The king is saying, if you will have lot of servants, you will have a very smooth life. The old man says, I already have a smooth life. The king then says, I will give you a very large mansion, which will be a luxury, and you will have a happy life. And the old man says, I am already very joyful. The king is trying to convince him and give him connections to happiness. And no matter how many connections to happiness the king is giving, the old man is not buying. Today, all these advertising companies, through their various forms of branding and advertisement, they are connecting their product with stories which is giving us happiness. It is all illusion. In reality, your iPhone or your XYZ phone or your branded clothes, they are not going to give you happiness in reality. It is the advertisement which is now connecting the dots and presenting to you, creating a perception in your mind that it is happiness. So when you are buying a phone or a cloth, you in the back of your mind are actually buying that false or illusion story of happiness. And the day when that story vanishes, you are no longer happy with that. The same thing is true with any person. We often start weaving stories with which we get infatuated, or we illusionary feel that we are in love with. Okay, we start building up stories in our mind. We start connecting that stories with them, and we give that person such a big level of position in our life and power Okay, and we are actually falling in love with that story, not the person for who he is or who she is. And we start giving him that power, or her that power, and we are building up these stories and interweaving the stories every time we are with that person, experiencing new stories, and we are building new illusions. And then the moment when we are close enough, after some time has passed, we start to know the reality of that person in a relationship. The reality is coming and hurting us. That time we are feeling very sad, because this story, this ball of story is now falling off, and it is giving us immense sadness, immense unhappiness. Then we say, you have changed, to that person. That person has not changed. Your story has changed, and that is where you are experiencing unhappiness. Now you want to separate with that person, or you want to break up with that person. But your pattern is going to be with them. Your story is not changed internally. Try to understand. You can break up with that person, a new person will come. Only the name is going to change. Your pattern will evolve. Mark. You can marry another person, same story, until you have dealt with it. Scientists conducted a very interesting experiment. What they did is they took a vessel with a very small opening, and they placed one banana inside, and then they took that in front of a monkey. That monkey pounced upon, because he wanted that banana. So he put his hand inside, he grabbed that banana, but now he couldn't take it out because the mouth was small and he cannot pull that out. Now he's struggling and struggling and struggling for hours together. He is struggling. All he had to do to give away that struggle is drop that banana. His hand will be out. But no, he isn't doing that. Something which we all are doing in our life. We are stuck to that story and we are holding on to that. The moment we will leave that story, we will drop that story, we will experience and fall in love with the person who are with us, and we will start loving what we have. We will be satisfied with what we have, because then we will go into the state of gratitude. That is where divine love happens, because the other love is conditional love. So this old man's story is not over. Okay, so this horse which was gone missing, it somehow reappeared after 2 days, and along with him the horse brought 10 more horses of similar kind and similar nature and similar look. They all looked almost like him. So 10 more horses he brought. So now the villagers asked, wow, the old man is not wrong. We were wrong. So they all went to the old man. Sorry. You are so right. Look, now the horse, it's not one horse. There are 11 of horses. Now you are so rich. And now you will have an immense life, because you will have your own horse and so many other horses which you can give to other people and make so much money. The moment the old man is saying, the only thing what has happened is the horse which was missing has come back, and along with it he has brought 10 more horses. There is no story of the king, or there is no story of happiness, or there is no story of big palaces. This is only the reality. The reality is that the horses had gone missing, the horse had gone missing, he has come back. The poor villagers couldn't understand, and they again complained, the old man is mad. We don't want to argue with him. The old man's son, he started training the new horses, and while teaching them he fell down, and he had a very grave accident, a very severe accident, where he broke his leg. And all the villagers again came with a lot of sympathy, saying, "Oh, such a sad story, such a sad thing that has happened." The old man said, "My son was only teaching the horses. He fell down. That is what has happened." So when the other kingdom, the neighboring kingdom attacked this kingdom, the king declared that everybody, because the army of the neighboring kingdom was very large, and the king declared that everybody who has a son will have to compulsorily offer their son to the army of our kingdom, because the neighboring army is very large. So again, all the villagers came very unhappy. So when the villagers came, okay, now all our sons have been taken for the army, and God knows whether they will come back alive or not. You are very happy, the old man, the villagers said, because your son is with you. So in fact, we are unfortunate. So again, the old man said, this is not a story of being fortunate or unfortunate. The only reality is there is a war that might happen, and that your sons will have to go and fight, and that my son, he is not well and he is over here and he will not join the army. That is the only reality. Look at how he is not connecting the reality with illusions of the stories. We connect our life with stories, and that is the problem. The first thing what we need to do is we need to disconnect from the stories which we have created, the stories of illusion. We need to disconnect from the stories and raise towards reality, or what it is. Our language, our focus has to be then completely focused on what it is and what the reality is. Right? Gratitude will raise our energy from lower level to higher consciousness. Gratitude is being happy and offering thanks to what you have already and to everyone in your life. Whenever your focus is in what you are not having, naturally your energy levels will go down and your illusion will pull you down towards unhappiness. So the best way is shift your focus to what you have and experience it and feel it, rejoice it, celebrate it, because that's where you empower your mind into what you are having and not what you are not having, and that will give you immense joy and happiness. So the first thing is be grateful to whatever and whoever are there in your life, in whatever form. Celebrate it. Go into deep bond with them. Enjoy the things what you have, because so many others are not having what you have. Isn't it so? Imagine people in Siberia, imagine people in countries of war, terrorism. They are living in such bad shape. You have at least a shelter, food, clothing, people around to help you, friends, whatever form they are. Celebrate and shift your focus from what you are not having, from negative things, to the positivity of what you are having. So shift your focus from complain to compliment. So instead of having complain for your loved one or complain in life of what you are not having, go to the complimenting factor. Start complimenting in your life, in your language, to what you are having and who you are having in your life. Shift from complain, which is a lower energy, to compliment, which is a higher energy. So first thing is gratitude. Release that pressure, release that weight on your heart by forgiving people, forgiving yourself, forgiving that incidents, forgiving that guilt. Release that banana. Be happy. Look how your life will shift. So first, gratitude. Second, shift from complaint to compliment. Third, forgiveness. Very, very important things I am sharing with you. We will practice this in a very systematic study in our future sessions and seminars of life transformation and meditation, which we will be telling you in depth during the end of this webinar. Diet, detox of mind, body, life. Diet for mind, body, life. Yoga, pranayam, and some very fast-packed exercise that will completely transform your life. We will see that in our future webinars and sessions, especially the life transformation seminar. So apart from gratitude, forgiveness, complaint to compliment, and shifting your focus, there are few small little things which I will strongly suggest everybody to do is go out in sun. I know during this time it is challenging, but please bring in the sun. Open up those curtains, let sun come over your body and mind, because sun will bring in lot of love and light in various forms. Let the sun come inside of you, the actual sun. Go out in sun. Do not stay in one place. Gather willpower, move yourself. Keep moving yourself and shift your focus from smaller things to larger things. Shift your focus from what you have lost to how you can be of help to this mother nature, to this entire world. How you can bring love and light in this world. How you can bring the new Sun's Yuga or the new Satyug and shift Kaliyug. How you can transform Kaliyug into an age of love and light where everybody is happy. How you can play an important role there. We invite you in whatever form you can be part of Sanshakti, in whatever form you can join with us, in whatever form of donations or help or offering your own talent or time or place, or by simply promoting Sanshakti's posts and videos, you will be doing great service to this society. Please become part and parcel of our vision of making this world a beautiful place. Provided you will do all the sadhanas mentioned the way we will tell you. So about this beautiful life transformation course, the details of which we will be sharing with you very soon. It will be a 6 months course. It will have diet, detoxification, life transformation. You will maintain certain diaries and affirmations and gratitude, and you will learn different modalities of meditation, yoga, pranayam, and also how you can change the program of your mind to change your life and change this society, to make your life beautiful and to make this entire world beautiful. Join hands with us, and to know more, stay connected. Thank you very much. Dhanyavad.